Hello everyone! Welcome to today's video where I will teach you how to create a super fun and easy game on your phone using the JustPut app. This game, your task is simple. Tap to switch the rotation direction of the circle. The longer you survive, the higher your score climbs. But watch out for those squares that you must skillfully dodge. Well, let's start creating this game. So, firstly we need to create a new project. I will name it Sphere Spin. Then we create an object that will be a white circle with a radius of 25. We will need two of these objects, so let's create variable a and b to store these circles. To see the object, we set the background color to blue. And of course, we don't forget about drawing. We create a drawing cycle where we draw object A and B. And when we launch the game, we can see these objects on the screen. Now I want these two objects to constantly move, so I create a variable called rel direction, which initially equals 0, but increases by 4 with each iteration inside the drawing cycle. And here comes the hardest part of our work. We need to make the circles rotate in the circle. To achieve this, we take the rel direction variable, which constantly changes. Then we convert this variable to radians. After that, we find the sine of the angle we obtained. Sine is mathematical function that essentially repeats and gives us number from 1 to -1. To increase the radius of the circle, we multiply this formula by the radius. I will set as 150. Currently, our formula only works for the coordinate 0, 0. So we also add the central x value to move the rotation center to the center of the screen. Similarly, we do it for y, using cosine and the central position y. Now we need to write this formula in JustPut, but since we have two circles, one of them will rotate half a circle faster. So we simply subtract 180 from rel direction. And we will do this for B object. And great, now in our game two circles are moving, but I want to be able to change the direction of movement. For this, when the user taps the screen, we will change the sign of a new variable, direction, by multiplying it by -1. And the initial value of direction will be 1. Now to change the direction of movement, we need to modify the rel direction variable considering the direction, so we multiply 4 by direction. Now we have the ability to control the object's movement by tapping on the screen. Let's move on to the next challenging part, creating enemies that will be cubes. First, let's create one enemy named enemy. It will be located in the center top part of the screen, and cause it is square, its width and height will be 50 pixels. After creating, we will smoothly move it to other coordinates. For now, this will be good number for testings. And don't forget to draw the enemy objects on the screen. It works, the square can indeed move, and that's exactly what I wanted to achieve. However, having just one obstacle is not enough. I think that you will agree with me. So I created a list called list enemy, which will initially be empty. By the way, you could have used this block to create the empty list. After that, we can add the enemy element to the end of the enemy list. But now we need to draw not just one enemy object, but the entire array. For this, we use the for each loop, where we work with each element of list enemy. And please pay attention to the element parameter we use for drawing instead of enemy in the drawing function. Now everything is working, but in our project we still have only one square. To have more than one square, we will add a new element to the list every 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. And you can see how many squares are flying towards the center. Also, the square should appear at random position from the top, so we will generate a random integer from 0 to the screen width, and they should smoothly move towards their x position. Additionally, I changed the final value of y so that they will go up to the screen height plus 100. And to optimize the project, we need to remove unnecessary square. So if an object is above the screen height, we will remove the first element from the list array, which will be the object that touches the bottom of the screen. Let's add a condition for losing the game. In the drawing cycle, we will check if the element object touches A or if the B object touches the element object. In that case, we will change the value of a new variable, let the name of it be game, to 0. At the start of the game, this variable will have the value of true. And for a complete stop of the program, at the end of the drawing loop, we will check if the game is still true. If it has become false, we will return the function and stop the interval that creates the squares. Now we can run our program. As you can see, I can control the circles, and if they collide with the cube, the game will stop. But I recommend adding a score counter or restart button. I have already done this off camera, cause I talked about this in the previous video. By the way, now the game is open in Chrome, which you can also do by exporting your project to an HTML file. And I want to mention that the project file will be available on my Telegram channel, so you can download it from there. If you have any questions or need assistance, feel free to leave a comment below. I will do my best to help you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more JustBoot video tutorials. So let this project be the beginning of your future achievements in programming. I hope you found this tutorial useful and inspiring, and thank you very much for your attention.